Sound art. We'll put the sound art up and the sound art with sound art is that it's more of the new folk industry for Australia. Our palette, ladies and gentlemen, for the sound art artistic statement, 20 hertz all the way up to 20,000 hertz. I can't sort of think, 120 decibels. So we always sort of use it. Sound, of course, is our palette, is our language, and is our communication with one another. I mean, we don't tend to hear talks because, well, we don't sort of talk to think in the verbal or in the linguistic. I mean, we're communicating in the sound aspect of our appreciation. And it's the ears and our frequency which we're most consumed. Unfortunately, and it's a very sad state of affairs, most of the people in our society hear 80% car traffic and 80% air conditioners, which isn't terribly a good comparison when it comes to the finer art and detail of sound art. Absorbed into it and looking at sound, electromagnetic radiation as a way of a wider palette. So if you were to think that here we are communicating in a sound environment which is between 5 and 20,000 or 2,000 hertz, which is our language, and you think, well, what if we had antennas instead of ears? What would we be hearing? Electromagnetic radiation. To produce that, the minimum requirement physically of an antenna to produce that is a quarter of the wavelength. So if we wanted to produce radio waves at 1,000 hertz, which is what we're talking at, then you need a bloody big antenna that's about 300 kilometres long, which is pretty dysfunctional. And so that then leads us to, well, here we are celebrating the 100 years of radio, and you think, well, why was it that we're so much limited into the thought of radio waves just being in the AM and the FM and the TV broadcasts? Because we couldn't produce 300 kilometre long antennas, and it wasn't until that we could potentially build antennas that were that length. Waves to mobile phones, to radios. If we look into the future of sound art, maybe we might start thinking of being more pure than just the frequencies that we use as far as the palette. But unfortunately, speakers are very inefficient. I mean, when we're thinking about sound art, what we're really producing is a lot of heat. So we're heat artists instead of sound artists, because the old speaker is very inefficient and the whole coil structure produces more heat than sound. The CD fires over the laser and it sees a dot and it communicates it into zeros. The longer the dot, the more zeros, of course, and where there's the space between the dot and the space in the dot is the one. So what we're producing when we're producing CDs, of course, is dots. So congratulations, you're also dot artists if you record onto CD. And to some extent when we're recording into the CD, we're losing a concept of what we're actually recording into. I mean, can you think of a second divided into 1.44 million pieces? I mean, it's like how far is Voyager going outside of our solar system? I mean, it's losing context. All these considerations you should give to designing sound art. We have the electricians, we have the plasterers, we have the plumbers, and we have the scaffolders. And this gives us a comparison for our life and others around us of what sort of noise they're experiencing. Is community. And the stronger you get into the community, the more you realise that you're wanting to promote local artists, Australian artists, and you're finding that the extraordinary expressions that are in Australia, in the bedrooms. Now, be experimenting with the whole social context of what we're working with. And you go to a performance, and you see the art, and then you can walk up to the crossover from audience to artist is very thin in the new music industry. Sound art! I mean, sound art, of course, is art referring to sound. I mean, that is it. I mean, really. I mean, after all the intellectual discussions that you can have, it is art with sound. Plus then you have what we did last night is the experiment.